Hello, this is part 4. It's called Finding the Traumatization Within the Phobia. Last time we differentiated a normal, healthy fear that is helping you cope with current situations from a panic that is unempirical to the situation and that is actually impairing the coping with the current situation. So what is a panic? A panic is a strange feeling. It's not about danger, because that would be a fear or anxiety. But a panic is about losing control completely, about a threat to your integrity, to your ability to construct reality. So it's about dissolving, like not functioning anymore, and your perception is crumbling. That's the fear within a panic, or the threat within a panic. And of course that's resembling, and this is no accident, resembling to the breakdown of the psychic organization, which traumatization is defined as. And I propose that the panic is an emotional memory of the breakdown of the psychic organization as a child. And I also propose that the unconscious, the part that knew that there is a dangerous attachment figure, that part is reasserting itself again and pops up the panic into your consciousness. And then people become phobic. And the unconscious looks for a pattern of stimuli that are metaphorically resembling the traumatic scene, in order to be able to draw up the memory of the traumatizing moment again. And the reason I believe that is that first, if you go this traumatizing process backwards, there is lots of evidence that this is the case, but there's also another hint in the fact that phobias are coming up or starting from early puberty through early adulthood. And that is the phase of life where people are beginning to be independent of their attachment figures. And what does it mean if you are beginning to be independent of your attachment figure? The need for survival is not threatened by a detachment or a loosening of the bond to the attachment figure. And so the need for processing reality comprehensively, and the need for truth and thirst for knowledge is coming up again and reasserting itself and saying, hey, there was a problem with reality back then. Here's the panic. Here you broke down. Remember it. And it throws the panic onto a pattern, the phobic stimulus, maybe a spider or something. And every time you see a spider, you are unconsciously reminded of the traumatic scene, and then the panic comes up. But the traumatic scene is still unconscious. And so the normal reaction to a panic would be to shy away from it and to avoid the phobic stimulus. That's what phobic people usually do. They are avoidant of the phobic object. And sometimes they even hate their panic because it seems so unreasonable to be afraid of a spider. And so they are embarrassed about it. But if my thesis is true, that the unconscious pops up this panic in order to remind you that there was a processing problem in your childhood, then of course it makes sense to go on the side of the need to process reality and to oppose the need for safety and security and survival that is called upon in the panic, and say, no, it feels like I'm dissolving, I'm trembling, I'm losing control when I encounter this panic, but I can see that it is not the case actually, and so I want to know what is going on. I want to be curious. I don't want to reject this panic. I want to turn to this panic and really explore this panic. And I want to know what of the phobic stimulus is most frightening to me. What is the most unpleasant part of it? And then I ask myself, what is the way this phobic object seems to be able to kill me or to make me not work? And I mean, that's a very heroic path to go, to look your death into the eye and to really be comfortable with the experience of yourself being almost killed. And if you're comfortable with this situation, then what people experience is that they notice that they feel smaller than they actually are. They feel less powerful than they actually are. They feel more impressionable, and more intimidated. And all this sums up to the experience that they feel like they are children again within the panic situation. And if they look at the phobic stimulus, they often or usually realize that the phobic stimulus is not actually experienced as the physical reality is. It's more powerful. Maybe it has a certain ability to intrude into yourself, or it is greater or bigger than it actually is, or it has certain characteristics that are unpleasant, that are not actually there. So it becomes also clear that this phobic object or the phobic scene is more powerful than it actually is, and it resembles more and more a parent or an adult figure. And so this mismatch between the phobic stimulus and your experience is like the mismatch between a little child and a huge adult. And if people are still able to stay with that experience, then suddenly the traumatizing scene becomes clear. And then the panic is in a way disappointed, because it is not happening what happened as child, that processing stops. No, the part of reality that the attachment figure was deadly dangerous is integrated, because now you're able to do this, because you are not dependent on the attachment figure anymore, and a great peace begins to come out, because now you are accepting a part of yourself that has been there all along, and you are now not at war with the reality anymore, but you accept the reality that is there. It's a chilling reality, and it's a hard moment to see that your attachment figure was so dangerous, deadly dangerous to you. But it's also a peace within yourself, because the split in your personality is resolved. And then after that, the phobic stimulus has not the power anymore to trigger a phobic reaction. And that is a very astounding effect. And I think it proves that the reasoning behind all this and the experience of the patient is quite veridical. Okay, I hope this all makes sense, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Goodbye.